favorite TV, advancing kingdom lifestyle.
Welcome to SISTA Talk. I'm your host, Linda Talam, and today we are discussing the LASTBORNS, or talking to the LASTBORNS rather. And they have said today they are addressing the nation on memes, the memers who are always on the case of LASTBORNS, the misinterpretation of their personas, and mischaracterization that they are lazy, they don't like work, and they are too pampered. So if you're tuning into the show, please share it with the feed on both Facebook and YouTube, with your contacts wherever they are. Especially share it with all the lastborns, the middleborns, and especially the firstborns. So on the show today, I have two lastborns. Lois Masharia, who is a businesswoman. Karibu sana.
Asante.
And Mwende Njatha, a pastor at Kibali Ministry and founder of Merge.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
And yours truly. By the way, today's panel is a panel of lastborns. So we are going to read on the same page. So thank you for tuning in. Please share the feed, as we said earlier, so that and let's also engage on the feed so that we can also hear your thoughts and your opinions on this issue of lastborns. Let me start with Lois. Could you describe your upbringing? How was it? Were you pampered? Were you doing work? Were you being beaten?
Personally, I would say it is both. First, I was a daddy's girl. Too much. I mean, he was too much into my life, in a good way though. To an extent, even in high school, he would come at least twice or thrice in a week.
A week?
Yes. Yes. From Form 1 up to Form 4. And actually the same. In college, he came I think thrice. But my mother was totally the opposite. Vita, if it was about fight, it was for all. But for daddy, actually, even after clearing school, every time he was in town, he used to live in Thika then. But every time he would be coming to town, he would call me for a cup of coffee. We would really hook up, especially on Sunday afternoons. Yes.
Wow, so you really had your time with the dad.
A lot of
and
time.
And mom was beating the
My mom was
out of
in the village. And I would often go to Thika to be bought kuku. That is after college.
So I'm imagining you are always rich, you know. You always have pocket money, you know, if dad is visiting every weekend.
You know, my daddy, well, he was not giving money per se, but there were so many outings, I would say, so yes.
The presence was
yes,
enough.
He was very present.
So how about house chores? Were you doing house chores?
Hey, in the village, chores were for all. Yes, I was not exempted from it.
Maybe just to bring, you are a lastborn among? Five? Yes. Okay. Boys or girls or mixed?
2 boys, 2 girls.
2 girls,
yes.
Wow. Yeah, so Mwende, how about you? You're a lastborn among?
2. We are 2 girls with a 7-age gap. So my upbringing was really interesting. Yes, I was pampered, of course. But where we used to live, we used to have neighbors who are boys. So I used to be friends with like so many boys. And it came to a point where they all went to boarding school. So I was left alone. So because of the pampering from my mom and everything, I mean, I used to get everything that I want. So I started crying and told my mom that I also want to go to boarding school. So I went to boarding school in class 4. It was so tough. I remember the first days, I always used to cry day in, day out because we are so close with my mom. And in regards to house chores, I didn't used to do house chores.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In fact, I knew how to cook when after high school, and that's because I went to stay with my cousin. So my cousin was so shocked that I don't know how to cook and do house chores. So she told me, we cannot continue this way. You will have to know. Yeah, like you'll have to know something, you know. But I grew up where we used to live with my mom and my aunt. By then, my sister was big. So I received pampering from my sister, my mom, and my aunt. Yeah, I didn't used to do anything.
Your sister,
but
because
now,
of the 7 year,
yes,
you were
yes,
just a baby.
Yes. But at least when I went to boarding school, at least I was exposed to a couple of things. I could no longer just, because there is nobody in boarding school who has time to pamper you. So lazima ningeanza kukua ngumu here and there, you know. But at least I was taken to a school where there was an older lady who would take care of me. But I remember, like, most of the visiting days, when it's time for my mom to go, the whole school knew that I would cry and cling on to my mom that I don't want her to leave.
You literally threw a tantrum.
Yes, that's how close we were. And but I think exposure also helps you just shape up.
You become tough.
Yeah, you become tough, because there's no you can go to boarding school and remain the same. So I think at least I was helped to toughen up there. Yeah.
You went to boarding in primary or
in primary from class 5.
Did that help you, or daddy was visiting every
It was just fine. After all, my daddy would come often, so and bring me a lot of food and snacks. So it was just okay.
You were happy. So did your dad ever beat you?
No, my daddy has never beaten me. Not even a single time.
For us, this discipline was key. And I've mentioned that we used to live like a community. So even the other parents were allowed to discipline us. So my mom was very key on disciplining me, and also the other neighbors. So you really had to be well put together. And then the boarding school I went to, it was a sister's school. Like, there was no jokes. Like, you just had to be disciplined. Yeah.
So at least you tasted the cane here and there. I hope you're enjoying the show and you're tuned in wherever you're watching from and sharing the feed with your, friends. Did you feel, Mwende, overlooked in terms of decision making as you were growing up, or?
For me, it was different. I think because we are so close with my mom, like she was my best friend. So from my young age, she used to involve me in a lot of things and in a lot of decision making. So I never felt overlooked at any point.
How about now?
Still right now, I don't feel overlooked, because before my mom does anything, like, she will tell me and ask me, what do you think? And I also think it comes from maybe my personality, because I think I'm kind of decisive, kiasi, not so much, but life has made me become decisive. So anything that maybe she's doing, even my sister, like, we are just 3 of us, so we are closely knit together, so we make decisions together. So I've never felt overlooked.
Lois, were you the top-down kind of decision-making, or you were included? Trickle-down economy.
For my daddy, yes. I mean, everything, every major decision, by the way.
From a young age, or as you grew up?
No, from a young age. I remember, like, there was a time one of my sisters was getting married, and my daddy, after the guys who had come, the in-laws now, he called me and asked me, what do you think about it? Can we give them a go ahead? And I said yes. And I think my daddy believed in me. Yes.
So you felt part of decision making?
Yes.
Even up to now? All right. That's awesome. How did your upbringing then, channel your view of life? Because I know how you are brought up, kind of adds up to how you view life. Some will just take life casually. Some become very serious. You literally take life seriously. Some are, live YOLO. You live, you only live once. Lois?
I'm that kind of a guy who only lives once.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't like taking life so seriously. Out of maybe through a few things that I've gone through, I prefer taking a day at a time. Okay, well, some things I believe they are serious and needs to be taken seriously, but mostly natakanga kukaa free. Yeah, I just engage a free gear. Yeah.
So what do you do that you would say is a YOLO kind of life? Do you plan, or you just wake up and say, today is Tuesday?
Like let me say this way, especially when I feel like I'm not in a good mood, I feel stressed, I can live in the house. I will not tell my husband I'm going to work as per se. Nipitia Garden City, I buy milkshake, very cold in the morning. I do a milkshake and then I go to work. I love being taking that moment. What do I feel like I want to do, like now? I feel like I need to go to town first. Nikuje tu nipige raundi, then I go back to work and I'm easy, I'll be good. That's how I like taking it. Yeah.
How about you, Wendy?
For me, I'm so random and completely random. Like, whatever my mind tells me to do, that's what I'm willing to do, even if there were other plans, And I think also because of being brought up around someone who is doing everything for you, sometimes I just tend to sit back and know that things are going to be done. Whether it's me doing
it's going to
or
work.
I'm not doing it, it's still going to happen, Yeah. So I can just decide. And also because I used to be given everything. Now this one is playing back again now when now I'm married, like it's playing back again. So if I decide I want, let me say, shoes, because I love shoes.
They call you by
like it doesn't matter if I had planned for it or I had not planned for it. I'm going to go for it because I want it now. It has to be done now. And whether there is money, like money will come and go.
Yeah.
So whether there is money or not, let's get this thing going, Yeah. So I remember when I got married, some of the things that used to fascinate my husband is that I have not planned on anything, but in the evening, I'm going to come back with something. Like I've just gone and bought something and brought it back, and it's not needed in the house.
Yeah.
So my husband is like, babe, did we really need this? I'm like, let's live life.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter if you need it, but me, I wanted it. So let's have it, But it's interesting.
Yeah.
Like, it's good to live out life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you say you are a spendthrift, kind of?
Yes, I am. I am.
Proud spendthrift. Lois, are you a spendthrift?
Yes, I am. A big one. Ile unaambiwa budget ya hiyo kitu haiko, but I want it. I want it. I mean, yeah. Hakuna budget lakini I want this thing. Why can't I get it? And then these you feel surely, okay, maybe in his plans really it's not there. But again, he will never understand I wanted it really. So I just have it anyway.
Yeah.
And then you'll try to complicate issues, hata ikukuwa pesa nyingi. Niliona tu. At the end of the I just wanted to have it.
Yeah.
And by the end of the day, you'll just get away with it. Si ushanunua. Yeah.
We are going to talk about getting away with things. So if you're tuning in today, we are talking to the LASTBORNS and they are giving us their side of the story. I know you've seen memes about them. Now they are very lazy when they wash one cup. They're already dozing on the kitchen sink. So being a last born, there's always that tendency of getting away with things, you know, like you are able to use that soft power to manipulate things. At the end of the day, umejitoa na vitu zimeenda sawa. Lois, how do you manage to do that, you know, getting yourself out of situations?
At times it works, at times it doesn't.
Yeah.
But how easily, one that I usually get out with it, ni ile siku ninapika matoke. You know I don't like matoke. So I will do some karata and I will pass by with my husband to the supermarket. And I will convince him to buy me a cake. So when the guys will be eating matoke,
You will be
I will
eating
be
a cake.
eating a cake. And Sam, him being a firstborn, he will really be hard on it. I will not get it, and he's not going to do nothing about it. He has said no, it's just that. And I have learned to say sawa.
How do you say, do you get away with things easily?
Yeah, I think I have there's a soft side of even my facials, you know. So
You're so, you know, innocent.
yeah, so like even when things go wrong, but one thing that we were taught from when we were young is to apologize when something has gone wrong. So for me, I don't struggle with that. If you feel like I've offended you, I'll be quick to say, okay, I'm sorry, but I mean, because I've already done it, let's just move on. Like, we can't dwell on one thing, you know. And also, for me, now that I've mostly been brought up by my mom, that my father was not so present, by when I met my husband, like, those are some of the things that we talked about. So he knew that I've not had like a dad in my life. So somehow, my husband really pampers me. He really does, even with him being a firstborn and him being choleric, like he really pampers me. But we have had to set rules in the house that I cannot always spend every now and then. So maybe I'll be given an allowance. That's mine. Like, he's not going to ask me where have you taken that money. Like, I don't have to explain it. And once the allowance is over, now that's on you. Like, that's on you. I cannot go back now to our account and start getting and doing all those things. So I think that just understanding us, him being understanding, has made me kind of get away with things. Like I'm not so closed. Yeah.
How about with your friends?
With my friends?
Your friends, like, do you get away with you?
By the way, now thinking about friends, I think I'm also pampered by my friends. This is because most of my friends are older than me. Like, my circle of friends, I'm the youngest. So they are always like they're kind of pampering me, because anytime they're like, well, by the way, sisi zile vitu tumeona, like, you're yet to come and see them. But I think it's because they are older. Like, I don't have an age mate of friends. They are way older than me. Yeah.
Okay. So if you're tuning in, I believe you are getting to know the side of the lastborns, and they were talking about the use of low power, kind of, getting away with things. They break a glass, they'll always find a way of maneuvering. Do you think that comes from a young age, because your brother, you would do something, but then your elder sibling would always be blamed for it? Lois, do you think that's coming from that place?
I think so. You see, you being the last one, unaonekananga haiwezi kuwa wewe. It cannot be you. And then we are generally cheeky. Utafanya tu kitu, and then you will pretend, Aki, it wasn't me. It was just not me. And you will be forgiven. But then, kuna katime kanafikanga, inaonekana ni kama
something is not adding up.
Inakuwa ni kuzoea. Like, I remember there is a time, my daddy, as I had said before, he had never beaten me, ever. So there is this time, I think I was in probably class 2 or thereabouts. He told me to wash his shoes. In my mind, I thought, I actually said, sitaosha mimi si maid. I thought he had gone. And for sure, I didn't wash them. So he came at around 10 in the evening. And he asked, did you even wash the shoes? Nikamwambia hapana, nilisahau. Do you know I washed those shoes at night, including muddy gumboots?
Yeah.
And he was like, hata asipewe ta, awashe kwa giza. Like I was just in class 2. Then my mother is trying to intervene and he says, no, she will have to wash them. I learned it in the hard way. The fact that my father was a bit tough, but not to me, not to me, to the rest. Somehow it has helped me, or rather it has molded me to be who I am. The fact that even if I was a last born and I was never beaten, discipline was key. But this issue of getting away with it, I think somehow, I mean, we will just maneuver our way out. Yeah.
Do you use crying? Crying too.
I used to. By then when I got married, I really used to cry. But then I saw this trick is not working.
I think it happens always. But I think we are kind of emotional because for me, honestly, but I think it's maybe the fear that was instilled in my primary school, because primary school you had to be straight. If you're not straight, akutachapwa, you know. If you do a mistake, like you're beaten, you know. And that's not what happens at home. So it was different. So sometimes I find myself like I've done something wrong and I know it's so wrong. And you can see from my face when someone asks me, I'm like, oh my God, yenyewe I've done wrong and I'm sorry. Now, when you said about kuvunja glass, that made me happy because I just remembered there's a point in my life. I mentioned that after high school, I went to stay with my cousin. There's a point where I used to break the glass almost every single day.
Was
I remember,
it knowingly or?
No, I don't know what used to happen.
You are just clumsy.
Yeah, I was just clumsy. And I remember there's a time I had put a glass in a jug and I thought that that glass was water. Because remember, like I didn't used to do house chores. So I thought this glass is water. So I just did like this and the glass fell. So my cousin used to call me Kavunja. I mean, I broke the glasses until she was like, you know what? Very soon you're going to have your home. You're going to realize how things are tough. So I can say also my cousin really helped me like just come up. And I was like, I'm so sorry, maid. I didn't know. I thought there was water in the jug. My cousin is like, how? How can you think there's water in the jug? And yet it's you who put a glass inside. Like, how does that add up? I was like, I'm sorry, I felt the weight.
Water look like glass?
I felt the weight and I thought this is water. Yeah. And I also think the fact that you're a last born helps you get away with stuff. Now that you're asking how like you just get away with stuff, I think also that name last born comes around with privileges, you know. Yeah, it comes around with a lot of privileges. Yeah.
So I think let's use, Lois, you said when you initially, early in your marriage, you used to use tears. What happened? How did it work for you?
Him being a firstborn, somehow he used to kurumia me, you know. I would say it, but you see, I would know deep down in my heart, I'm just trying to get away with it, you know. Lakini, I think to some extent, akaona ni kama ninaitumia vibaya or something. Imekuja sana. It's now you have to handle the issue head on. So this happened. And you know, the last one in me, I have to kunyenyekea now, dealing with the firstborn. You know, those guys are mini parents.
Deputy parents.
Deputy parents to say.
Ladies always, you know, watching soap operas. Then the guy goes and comes back with flowers and chocolates. Or you're taken out to dinner.
You know, when the baby came, especially when the baby came, things really changed. You know, I had to step up and be the mom. I mean, this baby needed me, and so I just had to mature up. That thing has matured me up completely. Unajua kana kuangalia, and everything is now all around you. Like the way, I don't remember which show that was, the way new moms feel like they are superpowers.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, I didn't even have a house girl. I was feeling I could do it all. Niko hapa lazima nipike, lazima niangalie mtoto. I had a total breakdown by the way. But then my siblings used to help me quite a lot, especially my two sisters. They used to come in turns. One comes, washes the baby, anaosha kila kitu, anaacha nyumba iko sawa. The other one will come maybe the 2 days after. And the baby, I would say the baby has also helped me to mature. Kabisa, I think hapo ndio machozi ilishia. I no longer cry.
So these days when you're dealing with issues, you deal with it with dry eyes.
Yes. Kwanza nimefungua macho kabisa.
So you had crying does not sort issues out.
It doesn't work. Unajua in the kitambo tukiwa watoto, it used to work. And again, you know, me being a last born among 5, to date, by the way, me, if I go broke, I just need to make a call by the
And your issues are sorted.
Yes. I'm a lover of cakes. Kabisa kabisa. So nitasema mama amesema, you know the way to meme says,
Yeah.
mama amesema unibuy cake. And I'll have it.
Yeah.
To date, I'll have it. Mimi ninataka kukunywa moka. Uko wapi kuja nikubaia? Me, I'm just trying.
Yeah.
To date, I'm okay.
Wow.
I'm still getting away with it.
That's interesting. We are going to go on a short break, but don't go anywhere. We are going to pick up from where we are leaving it right now. See you shortly.
What is the place of the prophet in the 21st century?
If that is your call and you feel that's your calling, then you have to be qualified. And the qualification does not overtake expectation. You have to kill everything in you and just go as you are.
Distinguishing the voice, and then what you need to do to learn to hear the voice of God.
We have to move in the grace that God has given us with the mind of Christ. So you have to literally, when you hear something from the Lord, you have to shut everything else off.
Is there a place for a prophet to prophesy regarding future events at a national level, elections and stuff like that? Is there a place for that for the prophet?
No,
Why not?
because the Word of God tells us it's God who puts men on their thrones, and it is God who replaces them.
Welcome back. Thank you for sharing the feed on Facebook and YouTube with your contacts so that we can deliberate with the lastborns. And before we went on a break, we were discussing about using tears, machos, to manipulate decision making or to get away with stuff. And when you said you are married to a firstborn, you know,
Yes.
when I got married also, I really used to, something kidogo happens, I cry. You go and cover yourself in the bed. You go to bed early. You go in a half. You move like, you know, easy matatu za, easy, the trailers there, MAERSK, you know, the way they normally pass with wind.
Yeah.
Mnaenda kujifunikia, umelia kwa blanketi. You expect him to come and say, sorry.
Shock on you.
Shock on me.
Unacho ujisort peke yako. Yeah. I think based on our upbringing, now that maybe when you're a child you cry and your mom is there, my sister is there, like also my sister pampers me excessively to date. Like even when my sister comes home, it's my house but I don't do anything, you know. Like she just, and I'm not telling her, she just takes up everything. So I think I'm also emotional, you know. And my husband is a firstborn and also a very strong choleric, you know. So I remember like when we got married, when maybe we would have arguments or we would wrong each other, for him, like he wants us to discuss the things that have gone wrong there and then.
Now.
Yeah. But for me, I want to kind of like sweep it under the carpet and forget it ever happened. You know, like I think also lastborns, they are not confrontational, you know, they don't like being confronted. And now getting married to a choleric who is a firstborn, he's used to taking responsibilities. So he's going to take responsibility over that matter. Like, sit down here, let's talk about it now. So I remember like I just used to sit down and I cry. Then he'll tell me, okay, cry, finish, but we have to talk about it, you know. So with time, I realized I'm not even getting away with this thing. We'd rather talk about it and just
cry later.
Yeah, like I realized, this is not my mom who will tell me, sawa, enda ulale, kesho asubuhi ukiamka, tutaongea, you know. Ama like the way, like, you know, my mom used to beat you. Then unamwambia miss kuli, anakwambia haya sawa, go and sleep, you know, and enda ulale, ukisikia njaa utakuja ukule, you know. But then I realized now here I am not getting away with anything. Whether I cry, I will finish crying and then we talk about it, we face the issue. So with time I've learned to, okay, the wrong has happened, let's talk about it. The sooner we finish it, the better. Because if I keep running, we will still solve it, you know, and everything has to be done. So, but I think also my tears inakwanga so close, you know, so close.
They're somewhere here.
Yeah, and then my facials, they just change, they just turn, and you're like, oh my God, I know I've done wrong, and this is it. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting, because I think the soap operas affected our minds, our view of marriage so much so that we thought you just need to whine a little bit and, you know, things are going to be done for you. I remember my mom telling my sister one day, wewe ndo saa yako ndo uchape. They were cooking mandazi.
Yeah.
So I wanted another one. And I had taken another one and another one earlier. So my sister was like, you get out of here, I'll beat you up. Well, my mom had, see, that day I felt powerful. I remember and I think just like Chloe and you were never beaten. I was never beaten actually by my parents. Never, ever.
Wow.
And I kept waiting. If they were ever going to beat me at 10 years. Right now I'm too old. But my sister, I think, took revenge. She beat me. That lady beat me. What?
Okay.
But anyway, I think coming from that upbringing of, you know, you're used to things being done for you. You're used to getting away with stuff. You're used to being the baby who sits down, then, you know, other people are given responsibilities. With time, you kind of don't take so much responsibility over issues.
Yeah.
And it is actually said that lastborns tend to be the most creative ones in the family. Do you think that's true? Creative, artistic, comedians. I've never seen a firstborn who's a comedian.
I would say in a way, yes. Personally, the things that I do are too much into, they are believed to be done by men. I don't like exploring this world. There are women, especially in businesses and what have you. I want to do things that will overstretch my mind for me to feel nimefit in.
You kind of like thinking outside the box.
Yeah, not these things are, not saying that the things that to deal with clothing in that line isn't bad. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, I want to do something that is beyond what the kawaida in quotes, kawaida person would think of doing. For example, as at now, I am into the motorbike industry. I know most ladies will not want to mention it.
Yeah.
It is full of guys who are so rough. You know them on the road,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But to me, that is what satisfies me. That is what makes me feel I want to do this thing even the more. In creativity, I would say yes. In terms of being funny, I think, as we said, for lastborn, it's never that serious. You know, these firstborns guys, wanataka kitu ifanywe vile wanataka. You know,
They see 10 years today.
like my husband in his work, he's so perfect. Mimi siwezi. Me, I'm all over. You tell me concentrate and do this one. No, I will not.
Yeah.
In fact, I would even add up to say, I think most of us lastborn, tukikuwa na hiyo character, it's never that serious. Personally, I struggle with being disciplined in doing something. Ninafikanga mahali nasikia, mimi imenibo.
Like he wants something else.
Yes, he has been in that career nearly all his life. If I would mention the things that I have tried out,
Yes. Yeah.
I think I want to explore nearly everything. Everything that guys are doing. In a creative, let me try this one also. I think that's me. I don't want to be confined into a certain thing. I want to go outside and explore what other guys are doing. Yeah.
So I think being a lastborn, since most people, it's like they were minding the stuff, the serious things.
Yeah.
You were left to toy around.
Yeah, too
kind of
funny, you know.
Yeah.
It kind of opened your mind to,
Yes.
I can do this.
Yeah.
And do you think you find many lastborns, you know, they are here, they are doing this, they are
Yes.
doing this,
Yeah.
they are doing this, and out of the 5 they are doing, they might be successful in about 3 or 4.
Yes. I think we struggle with consistency.
Yeah.
Kwanza, that one is major because remember, our minds are so random. So we are thinking here and there, here and there, here and there. You want to try this, you also want to try this. But as I'm growing up, I've realized that, okay, yeah, I'm so creative, but because I cannot be confined in one area, let me think and then give someone to execute it that has made my life easy. Because if I think and try doing it, I'll get to the middle of it and then I'm like, me by the kitu imenibo. Let me try something else, you know.
Yes.
So I get my hand onto something else and then inafika katikati, I'm like, no, this thing is not working out. So I've just learned where I am right now. I've learned to, yes, I'm going to think, write things down, and then look for someone who can execute it. Like, let me sell you an idea and you run with it, because I'm really not going to follow it through, you know. But now I feel that's the best thing of getting married, maybe to a choleric or a firstborn, because for him this is where we are going. So we are going to run with this vision. We are going to do it until the very end. Like, we are not giving up in the middle of it. We are going to do it until the very end, you know. So sometimes, like, he's so on my case. He's like, babe, you started this, you have to finish it. Like, do whatever it takes for you to finish it. Hey, at first, like, I used to feel the weight is so much because I'm like, maybe kitu imenibo. Like, let's just move on. And then I think having people just do stuff for you from when you're being brought up, you learn not to be so hands-on. You know, like, hands-on becomes boring.
Yeah.
for me.
I mean, how can I be washing utensils? I'm seeing something else passing.
Yeah.
And I can't leave this.
You can't leave it. One thing that we always like talk about with my husband is also about time, keeping time. Because for me, it's time to leave the house. But then I look at the house and I see there's something that's not put in order. That's the time I want to start doing it. And don't tell me not to do it then, because I had all the time. I must do it so that we may leave. Otherwise, I'm not going to really concentrate to where we are going. Then I finish doing that, then I see something else. And time is running, you know. I used to be for the idea of as long as I'm there on time, like let's say something is starting at 2, and you know, African timing is everything. So my thing is, as long as we are getting there at 2, maybe whatever I'm supposed to do, it's at 2:10. Maybe at 2:10, that's when I'm walking in. And my idea is like, as long as we do it, like as long as I'm there,
At the end of the day,
like
it's
does
done.
it really matter? The most important thing is that it's done.
Yeah.
We have done it and we have finished, you know. Yeah, that's all that matters.
Lois, do you struggle with timekeeping? Of course, we have testimonies.
I wouldn't say yes, by the way. I try as much as I could to keep time. I remember like there is a time I was supposed to go show my brother something. That is what helped me to start keeping time. But this guy parks me at Roysambo for 2 hours. He was leaving town. We were supposed to go somewhere in Thika. Every time I call him, niko hapa kwa roundabout ya Globe. That guy stayed at that place. Until nikakasirika, I went back to the house. So this guy is calling me after 2 hours. Kwani umesimama wapi? Niko hapa TRM. I'm telling me I'm home. Pana wewe kuja, nikamwambia pana, it doesn't work that way. I'm back in the house and I'm not leaving. In fact, I had to give him a contact of a guy we were going to see. Nikamwambia endeni mtafutane. I really felt bad about it. So every time I try to keep time. I try. I am not so perfect at it, but I try. At least I try.
You do your best.
I do my best. I like getting to the place where we were to meet or something at least 15 minutes before. That's has always been my...
You need to start coaching Mwende.
Ni pole pole, ni safari.
Yeah, I can't say the day it has improved ever since I got married. It has improved because, again, I think God just knows how to couple you up so that you may fulfill your purpose. For me, my husband believes on time is always before time. So don't come at 2 and say that you're on time. No, 30 minutes earlier, that's when you're on time, you know.
Yeah.
So I have learned to do things early. So we agreed in the house, if we are leaving at 12, tell me the previous day that we are leaving at 12. Then now I'm going to calculate the hours backwards to know when I'm going to finish all those things, so that by 12 we are leaving the house. But don't just wake up and tell me we are leaving at 12. It's not going to work for me. Yeah.
Someone is going to be angry on the way.
Yes.
I remember my husband used to quarrel from home to wherever we are going. Just because I delayed him for 5 minutes. He would quarrel. He would always, I don't like it. And I'm like, we will get there.
And the things that are to be done will be done.
Will be done. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Because there's this statement, the Lord never lacks someone to do it, so you don't worry. But anyway, I think as you guys said, with time, you improve.
Yeah.
I believe you're learning, especially on timekeeping, ladies. 5 minutes should be 5 minutes. I know 5 minutes for us is like 30. You know. Give me 1 minute, it's 20 minutes or so. So, Lois, I know you have a kid. Do you raise your kid the same way you were raised? Or you are tougher on her now that she's a firstborn?
I wouldn't say I'm so tough. I am the kind, mimi bora asinilili. I really don't like crying babies. Amesema blue band, akule. bora asilie me, I will give. For sure.
Yeah.
Scary, like now in the morning, she really comes. Unajua, akiamka, she will call me first. Then ataka hapo sitting room. Then when I go to the kitchen to prepare breakfast, she will come. Nieke blue band kidogo. Nieke skari kidogo. Then she will go to the sitting room. Then she will come back. Nieke kidogo ya mwisho. Other than alie, I would rather give it anyway. At times I am tough, at times I'm not. Depending with what. Especially if she has repeated something I have told her, don't do this, I will beat her up. But I find the dad a bit tough all the time. And she really believes I am the one who is supposed to defend her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So every time the dad goes like, kuja hapa ni kuchape, she will come now start kana kuja kana kaa nyuma yangu kana nishikilia. She believes I'm going to defend
You're
this
the
one.
good
I'm
cop.
going to get away with this one.
Yeah.
At times she will, and at times I will let her be beaten. But hata akichapwa, she will come back nibebe. And I will cuddle her and she'll just be fine. So I think I am pampering her in a way. But,
Yes, you are.
ninajaribu.
You are doing your very best.
Yeah, but it's a struggle. I want her, I always want her to be happy. Unaona happy mpaka ile mara zingine aisi ninaharibu, like giving her blue band. Really, it's not okay.
You know it's bad.
But anataka blue band ndio asilia, you just have it.
I think what I've seen that helps is when a child cries for something, like the way she'd cry for blue band. If you have a fruit like Dizzy, just give her. That way it diverts her. She's craving sugar. Banana is healthier and it's sugary, so she'd rather eat the banana than eat the sugar that she's crying for. Yeah, so that over time, it says that habits build over time, and over time it will become more difficult for the child to deal with those issues that a parent instilled in her when she was young. That's why you find adults who cannot do without biscuits.
Yeah.
Or who cannot do without, you know, these let's call them bad foods, the crisps,
Sodas.
the sodas.
Yeah.
If you trace how they were brought up, most probably the parents used to give them that every time they would cry for it. They would give it. So right now it has become, what do we call it?
A habit.
It becomes a habit.
Yeah.
Like they don't see how they can live without taking soda.
Yeah.
Even if you guys campaign on TV and say soda is bad,
It's unhealthy.
It's a lifestyle for them.
So for a child, it's better to divert.
True.
Yeah, if they're asking for something, give them something that's healthier to take care of. Because you're ninja. When I want to know I'm hungry, I always crave chips and Fanta orange.
Hey, that
Fanta
combination.
Orange. That actually, you just become hungry one of these, then you pass by those chips places.
Oh, they smell so nice.
They'll just start calling you by name.
Yeah.
So hunger, when your body is hungry, it normally asks for sugar.
True.
Yeah. So if you can just drink water and divert that, you'll be sorted for life.
Yeah. Or a fruit.
Or a fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think coming from that understanding that this is how I was raised, then you know your child will always demand. Most parents raise their children how they were raised. If their parents are authoritative, they become authoritative. If their parents are laid back, they become laid back. If their parents didn't care, they will also
They will not care.
They will also not care.
Yeah.
So looking at life now, Mwende, and the career choices that you have made, I know you're a pastor, but would you say that you kind of choose your careers depending on your personality and how you viewed life growing up and all that?
I would say maybe 2 factors. Maybe how you have been brought up, and also the environment. The environment tends to shape us and to lead us maybe into the things that we desire to do. For me, I know I'm a bubbly person and I love to be around people. Like I really love to be around people. So where I am right now, I being a pastor, and also it calls for the leadership. And I thank God that from my young age, at least my mom used to involve me in decision making, and she would leave me to either decide if I'm going to do it or not do it. Like, she would not force issues onto me. So at least that bit, I'm able to think through things and to decide. Because right now, you being a pastor, like, you're not just going to just be there.
Yeah.
People expect you for you to give them solutions on the things that they need to do, you know. And I also think the words that maybe our parents speak right from when we are young and what we are exposed to also shapes us into the things that we become right now. And I really thank God that I had such kind of a parent who would speak things. From a young age, my mom always used to tell me that I'm going to serve God. But back then, I used to be in Catholic, so my mom used to think I would be a sister. Till date, I always think about that thing and I laugh, yani. Yeah, but you see, either way, the things that she always spoke, that I'm going to serve God, these are the things that are happening right now. So I would also say the words that maybe our parents speak, and also just the things that you go through life, they shape us, they bring us to becoming who we are. And I also think that even when God created us, when he says that I knew you even before you were in your mother's womb, like, the things that we face through that journey, he has already seen, and somehow he uses it for the best purposes, to just advance his word and his kingdom. Because right now, there are things that I understand when someone comes to tell me that maybe daddy issues, I completely understand those things, you know. And because I've gone through them, right now I can be able maybe to stand with someone and walk with them until you win through the whole journey issue. But for sure, one thing I love about life is that you never stop learning. So in as much as you've come from being pampered, you get to the outside world and understand that now people are looking for solutions from you. So forget about being pampered and now give a solution concerning the things that are happening.
That's Lois, do you now? I know you want to address the memers. Do you think that the memes that that are normally done about lastborns, are they true? Are lastborns that lazy? Don't care. They are given everything. They don't have authority. Kazi yao tu ni kuishi maisha kama.
It is not true.
Yeah.
And I would begin by saying this. When you get out of the comfort zone of being a last, because either way, you will not forever be a lastborn. Okay, like now the society does not recognize you are a lastborn.
Yeah.
Same to you. Ukitoka huku nje, maisha ni the same. You know, same chances, same opportunities. If you want to be a HR, nobody notices by the you're lastborn.
There's nowhere in the CV that says lastborn.
Please nipeni role kidogo, munihurumie, mimi sina nguvu, sina uwezo. Doesn't work out that way. So to the watu wa memes, huku nje tunafanya kazi mzuri bana. I think I forwarded you that was it yesterday or something?
Yeah, that the lastborn went to donate blood.
Eti akafenda akasema arudishiwe. I mean,
that's so funny.
It's become too much, by the way. To some extent, I think even young guys do not want to marry lastborns.
Yeah.
Eti atalia usiku na miss mama yake. By the way, we mature up. Hatubakingi pale kwa kulialia. I think we grow up and we have grown up really to be just like the rest of you guys. They see, by the way, I believe these guys who make these memes, they always see lastborns as lesser beings, the way they put it. Ukiosha kijiko moja ushalala. Na kunja kivile tunafanya kazi nyingi. I mean,
yeah. So maybe in 2 seconds you can just look at that camera and give your parting shot on that issue.
Guys, lastborns, we are enough. And we are doing very well, by the way.
We are thriving.
We are thriving. Actually, in all businesses, marriages, bringing up children, we are doing very well. Not like the way you guys paint us. sisi ndio tuko.
Nyi sisi ndio tuko
Sisi
wengi
ndio
sana.
tuko. Mnataka ma first born lakini sisi ndio tuko.
Yes, Mwende.
There's so much potential in all of us. Like God has given us so much potential, and we are all put on the same pedestal before God. Like we are all the same. And what really encourages me from day to day is that you can become whatever you desire to become, because we see even in the Bible, like when Samuel went to anoint a king, all the other boys, all the other children were brought, because the parent, maybe Jesse, thought that the one who would become a king was a man among maybe his firstborn or the middle one, but forget about the lastborn. But we see that Samuel asks, like, are these all your children? And he says that there is one who is the youngest, who is outside there, who is taking care of the sheep. But actually this was the king. So it just shows how much potential is in you. So don't let society box you, and the memes that you keep seeing box you into a thought that maybe you're less, you cannot amount up to anything. No, all of us, we were created with the same opportunities, and we have been given so much potential to become anything that you want to become. The most important thing is for you to keep learning and growing up. Like you cannot remain at the same position. Yeah, we all need, I think life becomes better and you win in life if you're a learner, and if you accept mistakes, and if you know that there is a tomorrow for you to become something great.
That's a great parting shot, and I thank you, Lois and Mwende, for coming to represent the lastborns. So all the guys you've had there, don't fear marrying lastborns.
Yeah.
The memes are lying to you. As you can see, these ones are happily married. And to the lastborns, one of the things or the gifts that God releases upon you is creativity, open-mindedness, and the ability to just, do things outside the box. So it's a strength that you can make use of it and explore the world. Anyway, all in all, have a happy life, enjoy life to the fullest, and rejoice for wherever you are, whether you're a firstborn, a middleborn, or a lastborn. I hear the middleborns are really, quarreling why we are not putting them up, but don't worry. Your time is coming. Thank you for watching the show. I believe you've learned one or two. See you again next week. Bye-bye.